So excited for the podcast.
This one?
Yeah, it's going to be a great podcast.
I need to read the second question.
You don't need to read the second question because I'm going to read it to you. On that note, welcome to the Practical Pistol Show. My name's Ben. Here to answer shooting questions. Today we have Angry Matt, as always.
Hello.
Angry Matt's also Bald Matt from the looks of it.
I just cut my hair is all.
You cut your own hair?
Yeah. I'm
That's
not paying
awesome.
somebody.
Jesus. You remind me of Mink. One time I was at Mink's house and he looked at me like I had a dick growing out of my head when I was talking about having my trash picked up. He's like, "It's trash, you just burn it." I was like, "Oh,
What?
I didn't realize he was such a redneck till I went to his house." And Mr. Hwansik Kim, the thumbless Korean.
Hi guys.
Say hi. Yeah. Did you put is that a happy face on your shirt? That's amazing.
Yeah, my wife has one of these in different colors.
You guys must be such a cute couple.
Say smile.
Yeah, smile.
Okay.
That's amazing. You are, you must infuriate grumpy people around you. Let me put it that way. All right, let's get to the questions. That's what everybody's here for. So I've got a question. This one's a little weird. What are the 10 commandments of match management? And I thought that was kind of a strange question, a guy asking me how to run major matches. I've been waiting for somebody to ask me my advice on how to run their match. Like, I'll tell you how to do it, right? So I sent a follow-up email, and he said, if you guys could come up with some commandments that might actually help me shoot my class at a major, that would be helpful. Then I realized he's not asking about how to manage the match, but how you should personally manage your performance at a match. Hopkins, you felt this was a very interesting question, didn't you?
I think it's really good. I think it's something we've talked on, but never put a list together, you know?
Yes, people love the list format. That's big on YouTube.
Is it? Like the top 10 greatest
Top 10
movies
whatever.
of all time?
Top
Yeah.
7. Doesn't matter. Doesn't
True.
have to be movies. Movies is good, but it could be anything. All right, I don't know that there's 10, but we've each made a list. We don't know what each other's lists are. Uh-oh, Wilbur's here to say hello. I'm going to pick him up and hold him because I love him. Anyway, so we're going to read each other's, we read the lists. We'll talk about it, okay? Who wants to go first? How many do you have, Hwansik?
I have 5.
How many do you have, Matt?
I have 5.
Ha! You're both bitches. I have 6. All right, who wants to go first?
I can go first.
All right,
All right.
Hwansik. Let's
Yeah,
get the
so-
first one on the list.
The first one, when I go, so it doesn't really make a difference if I go to major match or local match. So the first one I would do, I pray over the match. I'm a Christian, but I'm not talking to people to pray. I'm talking to people to have inner conversation. And that inner conversation makes me focus until the end of the match. I had many problems at the last stages of the match because beginning of the match, we're very focused, but let's say I'm getting tired, my focus level is going down, and by the end of the match, the last stage or the second stage of the last, I usually have more mistake than the first or second stages. So that inner conversation can keep you focused throughout the match. And my second commandment is actually eating. It's water and lots of protein for me. So if
Jizz.
I lack water and protein and sometimes sugar, if I lack those in my body, I can start feeling my focus level going down, and also I feel heat stroke, especially in the summertime, if I don't drink enough water and some food. So second one is food. Number 3 is visualizing the stage and the sequence and the execution you're gonna do. So I have to do start of the buzzer and go where and what kind of partial target you're looking at. So number 3 is visualizing, and number 4 is relaxing. So oftentimes, especially in the winter time, I feel my body is super tight, my muscles get really tight. So I have to consciously think about relaxing.
What do? You go in the outhouse, kind of rub one out, or what do you do?
I jiggle my body like an octopus
I was close.
sometimes. And I see many shooters too, like especially still challenge shooters. They would like jiggle their hand before they actually make ready and like put their hand on the gun. So I sometimes jiggle my hand if it's too tense. And number five is uh, remembering the side picture or calling the shot. So sometimes it helps me to go to safety area. If I'm not warmed up, I would draw a couple times and look at the side picture. And also before I shoot the stage or when I visualize, I imagine what kind of side picture I am going to see on the specific target or yeah any shots. So I might think about like blurry front sight or sharp A zone, my eyes looking at the sharp A zone, or looking at the front sight, or looking at the outline of the gun, kind of thing.
Oh man, I like your list, Wansik. All right, Matt, what'd you come up with? I don't have a lot of overlap. Like I even forgot all about the nutrition side of it and
Yeah, I
drinking lots
totally
of
forgot
that
about that
stuff's all
also.
very important. I was thinking
Yeah.
about the shooting part. I like that.
So I think the first thing is have gear that works and make sure it runs.
God, I didn't think of that either.
And another side point of that is make sure your gun's sighted in.
All
I'd
right,
say that's like
so
1A.
how do you make sure the gear works?
Test it beforehand.
I love it. So you don't show up with new gear.
No, not at all.
That's stupid.
I'd say prep for each stage was my second one, but that's basically like visualizing the stage,
Yes,
making
yes.
sure you know like where all the targets are, all that kind of stuff, like what you need to do to shoot the stage good or at your level. Third was look at the stages the day before, so you actually got to get there the day before and know kind of the layout of how the match is going to go. Know where the range is, so you're not lost in the morning before the match. All that kind of stuff on that one. And then a couple things while you're shooting. Just shoot your game. Don't actually try to shoot someone else's game or like at someone else's speed. Just shoot what you're capable of because you'll have a lot less chance of failure doing that. And then the final thing is if you have a mistake, just forget about it. We hinted on this one last week, I think, right?
Mm-hmm.
About just forgetting the mistakes or like dwelling on it for a couple minutes and then it's over. You can't change it. It'll affect your match a lot more if you keep bringing it up and keep thinking about it. So those are my five.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to have a little bit of overlap here. So that's maybe good. We're starting to get the same ideas. So the first thing on my list, well, we only had about 90 seconds to come up with this before the show. So I think
Yeah.
we did okay, all things considered. All right. Number one, get comfortable with the setting as far as where is the range physically located? Do you know where it is? Make sure the GPS plots you to the right place and all that. So that's like what Hopkins says. Show up the day before. Know where the range is. Know where the kind of the layout of the range is. And the next thing on my list is find all the stages, and that goes with knowing the range layout, and even things like where's the bathroom at, if there's food, where's that. Just getting comfortable with the setting. Uh,
If you gotta bring cash and you never have cash on you, that's another
yeah,
thing.
I mean, yeah, you just kind of just kind of scope out just the basic layout of like where's all the stages and which stage do I start on and how's this thing gonna go, and that like all of that stuff just helps you kind of get comfortable with what it is that you're going to be doing, so you're not worried about those kind of questions because uh, I don't know. I find for me, I like to know which stage do we start on, how do we flow around the match, and all that stuff. So I'm not if it's well, when Hopkins and I went and shot a 24 stage match, I can't keep 24 stages in my brain at once. Like I just can't work that way. So you figure out which stages are shot which day, and then so I'm going to pay more attention to the stages on day one. You know, that stuff is helpful. So find that stuff out. If it's a multi-day match, especially like know which stages are which day, and get an idea about that, about where you start, because that will stop you from being overwhelmed by, could be 10, 12 stages, 15 stages, whatever it is. You don't want to get overwhelmed. Like Hopkins was saying, don't pay too much attention to what other people are doing. What I wrote is don't pay too much attention to other people's scores. So this is other people's scores can help you or it can hurt you. And you have to kind of know what motivates you. For most people, I would say knowing other people's scores is not going to help you in any way. For higher level shooters, it can help them as far as if you know how somebody shot a particular stage and you're trying to make a strategy decision, that information can help you. But it can also stress people out. You know, if it's like, hey, so and so is there and he had a great match or whatever, that can stress people out too. So generally speaking, you don't need to pay attention to other people's scores. Just do what you know how to do. Uh, as you get to know yourself and you kind of get more comfortable, more information can help you. But getting wrapped up in the scores, especially if it's a multi-day match, where after you shoot one day and you're like down in the dumps because you fucked up 2 stages out of 8 or something, and other guys did better. That's not going to help you unless you are of the mentality that you look at other people's scores and you're like, oh, well, everyone else fucked up too. So, because that's usually going to be the case. Just go and do what you know how to do. Okay. As you're checking out the stages before you shoot, just get a rough idea how to shoot each stage, especially if you're there as other people are shooting. You kind of watch how people flow through the stage. You don't need an exact plan how to shoot every stage before you shoot. So like the day before, you don't need to know exactly how to shoot everything. It's cool if you want to figure that out, but that's not necessary, and that can be detrimental if you change your mind later. So just getting a rough idea of how the stages lay out and kind of what people are doing on the stages, and you kind of I know where the swingers are, and I know what activates them, and I know where all the targets are, more or less on the stages. That's usually going to be enough. If you commit yourself to a particular plan on each stage, that can make it difficult to change your mind later on. So I like to just kind of get an idea of where everything is, and you can decide later if you'd like. Uh, Also, I would say don't spend all day on the range the day before you shoot, especially if the weather's hot or unpleasant. You don't need to do that. A couple hours out on the range, kind of walking around, scoping everything out is probably fine. I really don't like spending all day out there. It's hard on you to be out in the sun all day when you don't need to be. Maybe you're tired from traveling. You don't need to do it. So don't worry about that. Some guys do spend all day on the range before they shoot, and I don't think that offers any real advantage. Finally, don't pay too much attention to every dumb motherfucker that's trying to tell you how to do one thing or the other. So, especially if it seems like you don't really know what you're doing that much, you may have lots of people trying to help you. It doesn't help you if you have 5 people trying to tell you what to do or how to shoot a stage or giving you every little bit of advice. So just kind of, be polite with people or whatever, but pick a plan on shooting the stage. It's not probably going to matter that much what plan you pick. Just pick a plan and execute it and try not to fuck it up. That's what's going to matter. You don't need to be getting pulled in 10 different directions by different people giving you all sorts of little advice or telling you what kind of trigger job you need or that kind of stuff. That is not going to be helpful. So that's stuff you probably want to tune out. Yeah. Well, that's my list. I think we did okay, huh, guys?
I think I want to add one more thing.
Fuck. Okay. Add it.
Because you did number 6. I want to do number 6.
You do number 6. You do you.
So one thing that really helped me, so the first national I went, I had like 13 penalties or something like that. And then the second national, I got, I don't know, 2 penalties. But one thing I changed was the risk side of the game. So the first year, I was thinking, I want to do well. And also in production, I want to score most alphas as much as possible because mine are scoring. So I decided to go all alphas. And basically, some targets, I should have shot Charlie's and be safe. So like targets where no shoot is really close to the body A zone, then I would rather shoot headshots, maybe eat some Bravos or Charlies. And I think many people, especially in my local matches too, there are many partial targets around my local areas. And then many people fall down because they try to shoot as many alphas as possible. And at major matches, actually shooting a couple Charlies, but having a little less risky plan it can definitely save you, and other people will fall because
They're
they're
stupid.
not
Yeah.
the right.
Well, no, I can add to what Juan's saying. It's not just about you don't have to shoot all alphas, and it's like you don't have to shoot every stage the fastest you think you can shoot it. You don't have to split on every target as fast as you possibly think you can. Like
Mhm.
you don't need to go all out on every stage. You can just shoot the match and try not to fuck it up, and that's a good starting place. Is that even more general?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yes, I like it. Great. All right, gentlemen, we're gonna go on to the next question because we can. It's a longer question, so try not to get too bored. Hey, Ben, as I look forward to the upcoming season, I'm considering a different practice regime this year. Last year was the first year I started live fire training. I'm able to go to the range once a week, typically expending 300 to 500 rounds. As my practices progressed, my focus shifted from hitting the par times in your training book while still getting A's and close C's to drills that didn't so much focus on par times but had more movement and getting in and out of positions. Towards the end of the season, I was focusing more on tighter shots in my drills, but that only made up about 50% of them. As a shooter, I'm pretty fast and can be somewhat reckless. But as I trained more and more, my points started improving from 88 to 90% to 93 and 94% of points in most matches shooting major. I will probably make GM sometime this year and would like to be at least a halfway decent paper GM because you got to have goals. All right. What I would like to start doing is to really focus on drills pushing accuracy. Further shots, smaller targets, double taps. Double taps on 8-inch plates at 15 plus yards, far shots on partials, shit like that. Have you known anyone to fuck themselves doing mostly accuracy drills? Like make themselves get used to shooting too slow if they do too many slow drills? On one hand, I think shooting these types of drills could make me faster shooting close, easy shots, but I'm still concerned they could make me too deliberate or slow when I don't really need to be, uh, if the vast majority of what I work on is accuracy training. What do you guys think? Is it possible to train away the ability to hose like a boss? Should I just get a P320 with an RMR and stop worrying about it? No, you should not get a P320 in any case. Anyway, Hopkins, what do you think?
So it's like asking if he can train away his hoserness, right?
I guess
I mean, is that the gist of the question?
I would phrase it. Have you known anyone to fuck themselves doing mostly accuracy drills?
I mean, if you could speed it up, like if you could shoot the appropriate speed in a match, and you just need to work on the accuracy stuff, that kind of makes sense. I wouldn't do it though.
Well,
It,
let's start
it
with
would
the
get
question. The first part is: have you known anyone to fuck themselves doing accuracy drills?
just in a pure accuracy drill. No,
I have.
going too slow.
Well, no, somebody whose training is this. You know, somebody training this way is training for to be very, very precise, and they end up
They don't know
shooting
how to go
way
fast.
too slow. Yes, yes. But then for this guy's particular situation, I don't think that's likely to happen. I really don't.
So this guy knows how to go fast.
Well, he says he'll probably make GM sometime this year. I'm inclined to take him at his word. What do you think, Wanzik?
GM's got to have some speed.
You got to have the speed to be a GM for sure.
Yeah, so I think he's still trying to save some money, shoot a little less. Like he's limiting to what 500 rounds per week. And
I don't know if this is about money. I think he's maybe thinking, where do I go from here? You know?
so it depends on who. I think so. If this person really understand